In this video, we will briefly review company preferences in QuickBooks. Uh, we have detailed videos on many of these company preferences, so you can check it out. So company preferences, from here, go to Edit menu and select Preferences. So a new screen will open like this one here. Okay, so let's do it one more time. So here's File, and next to that is Edit. Underneath is Preferences. It's right here. Okay, so let's start from accounting. So once you install QuickBooks, it's better to go to company preferences and spend some time just to understand what's involved in here. Okay, so the first one is accounting. So go to company preferences, and uh, so in chart of accounts, do you want to use account numbers? So this is a traditional way of recording transactions in QuickBooks. So many of all companies, they use account numbers, but uh, recently most of people don't use account numbers anymore. That's why, as you can see here, is default. It's unchecked in here, and there's another one here, require accounts. If you want to have transactions require all require accounts, so it's already checked in here. So leave the way it is. Uh, and on the class one, this is a very important one. We have a separate video on this one, so I'm just going to briefly go through this a little bit only. So the class one is basically you are in a company setting and you have a bunch of departments, several departments, and you want to do tracking, uh, cost and income to show profit by division or department, or if you just want to track expenses for certain departments, that's why you assign class. So in typical environment, you'll have marketing department, sales department, production, administrative. So that's a typical way of using class. And when you run P&L, you just like a spreadsheet, you'll see tracks. It will track classes by column. So you'll have a P&L, and you'll track all the expenses. And if you have revenue, it will track revenue too. So it will go by spread by column. Uh, and so you can use it a bit differently too, but mainly you have to figure out what's best for your business. And then most of these, they're all checked, so unless it's bothering you, it will bother you for a business, you come back and uncheck it. Otherwise, just leave the way it is, because this has been tested for many years, and these are preferred way, company preferred way uh, to set preferences in here. Uh, and as you can see here, general entry, just leave the way it is, and transactions 90 days in the past, right here, and the closing date. Uh, Normally, you want to do this at the year end. Just set dead right here. So you just set the closing date, December 31st, and after that you can still make transactions. You can make uh, entries, but you put in your password and it will warn you, and it will generate exception report after this. So if you're admin, then you want to set you know set the closing date, and put the password and stuff, so that the people don't just go there and delete transactions or update transactions, whatever. So you don't want to do that. Once you set the closing date, your book's closed for that year. Okay, and then bills. So it's bills is basically right here. So you due accurate receipt. It's basically just, this is like a default type, and if you want, you can change it to 30 days. But this is the default only. You can always change it if you want. And as you can see here, this one is already checked. Warn about duplicate bill number from same vendor. So that means you don't want to enter the same vendor invoice twice and automatically use credits, automatically use discount. So this one is, as you can see here, it's not checked. So the way this thing works is uh, you have credits, and it will automatically apply that credit against open invoice, open bill. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. So depending upon you do a lot of business with that vendor, in that case you want to apply credit against specific bill. You just don't want to automatically apply credit against uh, next bill. So you can just leave the way it is or select. So it depends upon your business situation. Okay, so the calendar, we have a separate video on this one. It's right here. So you can, this is the one, it's to-do list. It will show what you did and what needs to be done. It's in here. So this one, uh, it's pretty handy, but this one is not available in QuickBooks Online right now. If you are QBO, they don't have this calendar thing. Okay, checking. Company preferences. So you can go through the list, and you can just leave the way it is. It's pretty good the way it is set up right now. So if you want to print account numbers on vouchers, account names on voucher, you can select that one. So you can go through this list one by one, and desktop view right here. So if you want to create a sales receipt, you just leave the way it is. It's in right here. Sales receipt. You want to create sales receipt right here. It's in here. If you don't want a sales receipt, then just uncheck it and it won't show up on your home page. But if you are creating sales receipts, sales invoices, you just leave the way it is. A statement and statement charges, same things. Leave the way it is. And let's go through here, and estimates. So it's off and on. So it's off right now. Sales tax is on. Sales order is on. Inventory on. Payroll is on. And time tracking is on. So if you want this off, you can just click it and turn it off. Okay, so finance chart. If you're billing your customers and you charge a finance charge, you can update it in here. This one is not available in QuickBooks Online. Okay, the company preferences, it's right here, decimal minutes. You can just change it right here. Okay, and this is the if you're syncing QuickBooks with some other apps, yeah, you have to give permission here. And if you are using point of sale type, yeah, you need to give permission to use this one here, and you can remove it if you don't like it. It's up to you. Okay, and items and inventory. Okay, so we have a separate video on this one. You can see here inventory and purchase orders, warn about duplicate purchase orders, and calculating all these things in here. Okay, all these. And by the way, this one in desktop, the inventory features, they have all kinds of stuff, so there's no way to compare this to QuickBooks Online right now. Although QuickBooks Online, they do have inventory, but this one is they have many features. It's far superior than QBO right now. Okay, especially preference the Premier. If you have Premier version, if this Premier is 10, QuickBooks Online is I would say about 2 or 3. And if it's Pro, maybe 5 out of 10. But they are updating a lot. They are adding new features almost every month. Okay, and quantity of sales. So most of these, they don't have that in QuickBooks Online. Okay, so when the quantity wants, right, give you a warning. Although they do have this feature right now, they just added this one recently. And you need to measure. So yeah, if you sell, if you buy a bundle and sell it in a different way, you can just say it's like this one here. Once you turn this on, you can undo it. So if you really need it for inventory, you buy in bulk and then sell it in pieces. That's when you come up with you use this one. You will enable this, and once you enable it, you can undo it. Okay. And jobs and estimate. This is basically just changing the title in here. If you want ending, you can change whatever you want, depending on your business. Okay, and do you create estimate? Yes or no? And then if it's yes, do you do progress invoicing? Yes or no? Yes or no? And this feature, progress invoicing, it's in here, but it's not in QuickBooks Online. I'm just giving you, if you're thinking of heard of QuickBooks Online and think of switching it, I'm just giving you a heads up here. So this one is not available in QuickBooks Online. And close estimate of converting invoice, so you can, all these things, they are there. Okay, and multiple currencies. You want to open it again. Company preferences. Okay, so I use, you don't, or you use it, and it's the same thing. Once you turn this on, you can't undo it, and you have to study this a lot. If you need this for business, then you should turn this on. Otherwise, just leave the way it is. And this one is also available in QuickBooks Online right now. And the payments one, okay, so it's automatically apply payments, automatically calculate payments. And this is the one, it's kind of important one. Use undeposited funds as a default deposit account. So you should just leave this on, check it. Although it takes one more step to deposit the money to your bank. The way it works is basically if you are depositing, but the checks to the bank, and it has to go to your undeposited funds, and from there you deposit to the bank. Uh, but if you're depositing payments directly to the bank, like individual checks, individual credit card payments, then you have to have this undeposited funds. But on the other hand, like if you just have a customer, they'll make a wire transfer for one invoice, then you can select, you can uncheck this one. So it depends upon your uh, type of business you are in. But most of the business, if you accept credit card or if you deposit checks to the bank, then you just leave the way it is. Uh, we have a separate video on this one too. Uh, okay, and the payroll employee, this is a separate one. And basically, if you run payroll, you can select all these. It gives you all these things. Uh, okay, and there's a new one here, mark new employees as sales reps. And uh, there's another one here, job costing and class tracking for paycheck expenses. So if you're doing job cost in QuickBooks Desktop, you just check this one. And this one is not available in QuickBooks Online right now. QuickBooks Online, they don't have job costing, and if you need to fill out timesheet, it will basically post to chart of accounts. So there's no item posting or anything like that. So there's no job costing like that. You can assign class, but there's no job costing there. Okay, this is just a reminders thing. It will list all these things, so you can just go through this. This is pretty much standard thing. If you want, you can change it once you get used to this. Okay, and reports. Uh, so this one is you can, if you are on strictly on cash basis, you can change the cash. Otherwise, just leave the way it is. You can always change the report whenever you want it. It's not a big thing. And in here, the aging reports. This is the standard one. Just leave the way it is. Unless you want to change it, you can come back and change it from transaction date. But this is the standard one, due date. And this is for the items only. When you run items report or job costing, uh, item profitability, then you'll find out what's the difference between name, description, and name and description both. And in here, this is the same thing with the name and description both. Right now, the default on this one is name, and in here both. So when you run the items report, then you will find out in your situation you may just need name, you may just need description only, or both. Okay, and this is the classified cash flow statement. Okay, so this is a good one. This is you can classify the way you want it, change it the way you want it, and QuickBooks Online QBO, they don't have this. It's all hardwired, and they compute totally differently than this one. Okay, so then the format, you can change the format in here, and this is the sales and customers one. If you use UPS, you can select UPS, the shipping one. You can just check all these things. The packing slip here, so you can customize packing slip if you want. And QuickBooks Online, they have packing slip for invoice, but there's no packing slip for sales receipt, and you can't customize it. No customization for sales the packing slip now. You can customize for sales receipt, sales forms, but no customization for packing slip. So something to think about. Okay, and the sales tax, the preference one is the sales, yes or no, and you can add sales tax in here. When you set up your sales tax, you have to select one in here. Okay, and this is the important one. When do you owe sales tax? So it depends on the state. It's state regulation. So you have, before you select this one, you have to find out from your state agency whether they accept sales tax on cash basis or always on accrual basis. So this is a very important one. Before you switch it, you got to find out from your sales tax. The cash basis is basically once you got the money from your customer, you create invoice, you create sales receipt. Sales receipt, you have received the money. Invoice, use invoice you have, and it's the payment. So on cash basis, it's always on once you receive the payment, then you uh, report and pay sales tax. So accrual basis, the moment you create invoice, doesn't matter you got the money or you never get the money, doesn't matter, you go ahead and pay the sales tax. You have to pay it. So this one you got to find out from your sales agency, you're on accrual basis or cash basis. This is the reporting thing. Okay, so when you pay sales tax, it's monthly, quarterly, and annually. So they'll tell you. And search one, you can just leave this way as the way it is. Say 60 minutes. You don't want to update every 5 minutes. The 60 minutes is fine. You can update now, and just leave the way it is. Okay, and it's the same standard of the customizing your sending forms. You can change it the way you want it. This is the basic invoice one, and you can add the other stuff to estimate, like that. Okay, you can add another one in here, like this one. You can change it, default type, service connection. Uh, yeah, this is the QuickBooks connection service. You can check this one here, and use the spelling one. Okay, tax 1099. This is 1099 miscellaneous, yes or no. If it is yes, then you go through when you set up your vendor, then you select 1099 type, and that's where you fill out the either social security number or on the vendor form. And time and expense. Okay, so if you're tracking time, so this is the one you need. You track time, yes or no, and then uh, it'll ask you, if you have billable expenses, this is where you choose. And if you have non-billable expenses, you don't do this. You can uncheck it, like this one. And if you have a default markup percentage on billable expenses, you can select the percentage in here, and then you select the income account here. So I'll just uncheck this one, assuming I don't need it. So this, okay. So that's about it on company preferences. As I said, we have a detail on many of these preferences, so you can check it out. And let's see. Okay. So thank you for uh, watching this video, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. There is our YouTube channel. One here, we have two. This is for desktop and QBO combined, and a few other things. And this one is strictly for QuickBooks Online only, QBO only. And we're on Facebook too, so like us on Facebook right here, facebook.com, QuickBooks QBO. And there is our website, newquickbooks.com. This is for QuickBooks Desktop only. Thank you again. Bye.